Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about something pretty different. This whole world of AI is just exploding right now, but we're going to be looking at it through the lens of something you might not expect. We're talking board games, and specifically a board game that uses AI to teach kids about entrepreneurship. And I've got to say, even I was a little skeptical at first, like how do you even combine those two things?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting combination. When I first heard about it, I was intrigued, to say the least.
Right.
Board games and AI, it's not the most obvious pairing.
So the game we're diving into is called InnoHive, and from what I've gathered, it's all about getting kids thinking like entrepreneurs, sparking that creativity and giving them the tools to actually build something. But before we get into the AI side of things, I think it's important to understand what InnoHive is all about at its core.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, imagine a group of kids sitting around a table, maybe up to like six of them, and instead of just rolling dice or moving pieces around, they're brainstorming startup ideas.
Oh, wow. Okay, so
That's InnoHive. It's designed to be fun and engaging, obviously, but it also introduces these really important business and tech concepts in a way that makes sense for kids.
that's really cool. So it's more than just a typical board game then. What makes it so special for teaching kids about entrepreneurship?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is that it creates this safe space for them to experiment. They can take risks, they can even make mistakes, but there are no real-world consequences.
Ah, I see.
It's like a sandbox for their entrepreneurial ideas. They get to experience the whole process of coming up with an idea, developing it, and then pitching it to others.
And those are all skills that are valuable, not just in business, but in pretty much any aspect of life.
Absolutely. Problem solving, creative thinking, teamwork, these are all essential skills that kids can develop through InnoHive.
And now here's where things get really interesting for me, because they're bringing AI into the mix.
Right, the AI twist.
It seems kind of counterintuitive to use AI for something as hands-on as a board game, especially when we're talking about teaching kids.
Yeah, I had the same thought initially. You think board games, it's all about face-to-face interaction. So where does AI even fit in?
Exactly.
But the key here is that the AI isn't meant to replace that human element.
Oh, okay.
It's there to support it, to enhance it.
So how does that actually work? Can you give us an example?
Sure. Imagine a coach working with a group of kids playing InnoHive.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Now, the AI could handle things like explaining the rules of the game,
Hmm.
keeping track of scores, maybe even offering helpful tips to the players.
That makes sense.
So it takes care of some of those more logistical tasks, freeing up the coach to focus on those deeper interactions with the kids.
So it's like giving the coach an extra set of hands, or maybe even an extra brain.
Exactly. It's about maximizing the impact of those human mentors. Because let's be honest, even the best coach might miss subtle cues from the kids, especially in a larger group, or they might struggle to tailor feedback to each child's individual needs.
Yeah, that's true.
But AI can step in and help bridge those gaps. It can provide that personalized support that a human coach might not be able to offer on their own.
Now that's where I can see parents really getting excited, because they want their kids to learn these entrepreneurial skills. And this sounds like such a cool and effective way to do it.
It definitely has the potential to be a game changer in that sense, and the AI element just adds a whole other layer of intrigue and excitement.
So speaking of the AI, I'm curious about the technical side of things. How do they actually integrate AI into a physical board game experience? It sounds pretty complex.
It definitely is. From what I've learned, they're using something called a WeChat mini app as the platform for the AI.
Okay, so WeChat mini app.
It's basically like a little program within WeChat that players can interact with during the game.
So it's not like there are robots physically moving pieces around the board or anything?
Aha, no, not quite that futuristic yet. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of sophisticated technology going on.
Like what kind of technology?
Well, for starters, the developers have to carefully train the AI. They use something called prompt engineering to make sure the AI can understand the nuances of the game and respond to player actions in a natural way.
Wow, that sounds complicated.
It is, and then they have to make sure it all works seamlessly with the physical game itself through API integration. So it's a lot of moving parts.
So there's a lot more going on under the hood than you might realize at first glance.
Exactly. It's a really cool blend of creativity and technical expertise.
It's pretty impressive when you think about it.
Yeah, you've got the game itself and then the AI working together to create this immersive learning experience.
It's like they've built a whole ecosystem around this idea of teaching kids about entrepreneurship.
And it seems like they've put a lot of thought into every aspect of it.
Speaking of thought, I'm curious about the development process for InnoHive. How did this whole thing even come about?
Well, luckily we have some insight into that through this project plan summary document we have.
Oh, interesting.
It basically outlines their goals for InnoHive and the steps they're taking to make it a reality.
And what does that look like?
Well, From what I'm seeing, it's a pretty ambitious project. I mean, you're talking WeChat integration, AI development, building the back-end infrastructure, rigorous testing.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot.
It's a huge undertaking.
So it's clear that they're not just throwing something together here.
No, definitely not. They're taking a very structured approach.
What do you mean by structured?
Well, they're breaking the project down into smaller, manageable phases, each with its own clear timelines and goals.
Ah, so they're not trying to do everything at once.
Exactly. It's a much more agile way of working, which is actually very fitting for a project focused on entrepreneurship.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's like they're embodying the principles they're trying to teach.
That's really cool.
So yeah, it's clear they're approaching this with a lot of intention and care.
Okay, so we've got this ambitious project using cutting-edge technology to teach kids valuable skills. It's a pretty compelling story so far.
It is.
But there's one thing that I'm still kind of grappling with, and I'm sure our listeners are too.
What's that?
Well, it's this whole question of why. Why use AI for something like this? When on the surface, it seems like human interaction would be enough.
Right. That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems almost counterintuitive at first.
It does, and I think it's something we need to unpack a bit.
Definitely. Let's dive into that.
It's a really good question, and I think it gets at the heart of what makes InnoHive so innovative. You know, it's not about replacing human coaches or teachers with AI.
Right.
It's about augmenting their abilities, giving them tools to be even more effective.
I like that it's like giving them superpowers.
Exactly. Superpowers for educators. Because think about it, AI can process information and adapt to individual learning styles in ways that humans just can't at scale.
Mm-hmm.
So while a coach might be great at, inspiring the kids and getting them excited about entrepreneurship, AI can be working in the background to personalize the experience for each kid.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, let's say one kid is struggling with a particular concept. The AI could adjust the difficulty of the challenges for them, or offer specific tips that resonate with their learning style.
So it's like having a personalized AI tutor working alongside the human coach.
Exactly. And that's a huge benefit for parents, too, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, parents want their kids to succeed, and this kind of personalized support can make a big difference.
And it's not just about the kids either.
Right. Think about the benefits for educators. AI can provide valuable insights into how each child is learning, which allows the coaches to fine-tune their approach and create even more engaging and effective learning experiences.
It sounds like everyone wins in this scenario.
Exactly. It's a win-win for both kids and coaches.
But I also want to think about the bigger picture for a minute.
Sure.
We're talking about AI being integrated into a board game here.
Mm-hmm.
But this could have implications for education as a whole, couldn't it?
Absolutely. InnoHive is a great example of how we can start to rethink the way we approach learning.
How so?
Well, it shows us that AI can be used to personalize and enhance education in a way that feels natural and engaging.
Yeah, I could see that.
And this approach could be applied to all sorts of educational settings. Imagine AI-powered tools that help teachers personalize lessons or provide real-time feedback to students or even create immersive virtual learning experiences.
That's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is, and it's not just about making learning more efficient or effective. It's about unlocking the potential of every learner, no matter their background or learning style.
I love that.
It's about creating a more equitable and accessible education system for everyone.
Those are some lofty goals, but I think they're worth striving for.
Definitely.
But as with any new technology,
Yeah.
I think it's important to be mindful of the potential downsides as well.
Oh, absolutely.
What are some of the concerns you have?
Well, one concern is that we become overly reliant on AI.
Right.
We don't want to create a generation of kids who are so dependent on technology that they lose the ability to think for themselves
Mm-hmm.
or solve problems creatively. It's all about finding the right balance.
Balance between human guidance and AI assistance.
Exactly. We need to make sure that AI is used to augment human capabilities, not replace them.
I think that's a crucial point.
It's about empowering both learners and educators, not making either one obsolete.
Well said.
So yeah, we need to be thoughtful about how we integrate AI into education.
But the potential benefits are undeniable.
Oh, for sure.
And InnoHive is such a fascinating example of how we can start to explore these possibilities.
It really is. It's a project that captures the imagination and makes you think about the future of learning in a whole new way.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the practical side of InnoHive.
Yeah.
But I'm also curious about the bigger picture.
Okay.
What do you think this project tells us about the evolving relationship between humans and AI?
That's a great question. I think InnoHive highlights the potential for collaboration between humans and AI.
Collaboration?
Yeah, it's not about a competition for dominance. It's about finding ways to work together to achieve shared goals.
Like a partnership.
Exactly. And I think that message extends far beyond the realm of education.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, as AI continues to evolve, it's important to remember that we have the power to shape its development.
Mm-hmm.
We can make sure that AI is used for good, that it benefits humanity.
That's a powerful message.
It is, and I think it's one that we need to keep in mind as we navigate this rapidly changing technological landscape.
Absolutely.
So yeah, InnoHives is more than just a board game. It's a glimpse into a future where humans and AI can work together to create something truly amazing.
I like that.
A future where learning is more personalized, more engaging, and ultimately more effective for everyone.
It's an exciting vision, and I'm glad that projects like InnoHive are paving the way.
Me too.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From the mechanics of the game itself to the broader implications of AI in education and beyond.
It's been a fascinating deep dive.
It has, and I'm sure our listeners are just as intrigued by InnoHive as we are.
I hope so.
And as we wrap up, I'm left wondering what other innovative ways AI will be used to transform education in the years to come.
It's an exciting time to be exploring these possibilities.
It really is.
And I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Well, on that note,
Yeah.
we'll conclude our deep dive into the world of InnoHive and the intersection of AI and education. Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery. I think after all that, we've been talking about the AI and the tech and everything. I'm thinking about the parents listening who are probably wondering, okay, this sounds cool, but would my kid actually like this?
That's a great point. I think it's easy to get caught up in the tech side of things, but we have to remember that at its heart, InnoHive is still a game. It's designed to be fun, first and foremost.
So even if my kid isn't like a little Steve Jobs, destined to be a tech entrepreneur, they can still have fun playing InnoHive.
Absolutely. I mean, think about the core elements of the game. You've got creativity, collaboration, problem solving. These are all skills that are valuable for kids no matter what they're interested in.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not like forcing them down a specific career path.
Exactly. It's more about fostering a certain mindset, a mindset of curiosity, innovation, and, just being willing to try new things.
And who knows, maybe playing InnoHive will spark an interest in entrepreneurship that they didn't even know they had.
Right. It could plant a seed.
But even if it doesn't, they're still developing valuable skills.
Absolutely. And they're having fun while doing it.
So it's a win-win either way.
Yeah, I think that's a key takeaway here. InnoHive isn't just about creating future entrepreneurs. It's about giving kids the tools to be successful in whatever they choose to do.
And it's also a reminder that learning can happen outside of the traditional classroom setting.
Oh, definitely. I mean, learning should be fun and engaging. It shouldn't feel like a chore.
Right.
And I think InnoHive is a great example of how we can make learning more playful and interactive.
And that brings us to a bigger question, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
What does the future of learning look like in a world where AI is becoming more and more prevalent?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
And I don't think anyone has a definitive answer.
But what are your thoughts? What do you envision?
Well, I think InnoHive offers us a glimpse into one possible future.
What do you mean?
A future where learning is more personalized, more engaging, and maybe even more fun.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Me too. And I think AI can play a big role in making that happen.
So it's not about AI replacing teachers or anything like that?
No, that's at all. It's about AI empowering teachers, giving them the tools to create these amazing learning experiences.
It's about collaboration.
Exactly. Humans and AI working together to create something better than either could achieve alone.
That's a powerful idea.
It is, and I think it's something that we should all be excited about.
So as we leave our listeners to ponder all of this,
Yeah.
what's one final thought you want to leave them with?
I'd say this. The future of learning is being shaped right now. And we all have a role to play in making sure that it's a future where technology empowers us, not defines us.
A future where human ingenuity and creativity are still at the heart of the learning experience.
Exactly. Because ultimately, that's what makes us human.
Well said.
It's been a great conversation.
It really has. Thanks for sharing your insights with us today.
My pleasure.
And thanks to all of you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of InnoHive, AI, and the future of learning. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration.